Good morning, students. In this video, I would like to teach lesson number 1, object oriented programming concepts. Shall we start the class? Lesson number 1, object oriented programming concepts. First of all, introduction. In the world around us is made up of objects such as people, vehicles, buildings, mobiles, televisions, and so on. Each of these objects has the ability to perform specific action, and each of these actions influences the other objects in some way or the other. Object oriented programming is a programming methodology that considers a program as a similar consisting of objects that interact with each other by means of action. In programming language, the initial step in solving many OOP programs is to identify the objects in the problem description. Some objects may already be available in the Java library. Other objects you may have to write yourself. Let us begin with understanding the object oriented programming concepts. In these object oriented programming concepts, first of all, you have to know what is an object and what is a class. Okay, shall we start the class? First of all, we are going to learn what is an object. Objects are the basic units of an object oriented system. An object is an identifiable entity that has a set of attributes, behavior, and state. An object is a identifiable entity. We can identify some objects we can touch and feel also. Those objects have some attributes, behavior, and a state. First one, what is an attribute? Attributes are individual characteristics that differentiate one object from the other. Attributes means individual characteristics of an object. Those are differentiate from the one another. Later we will discuss. And the next one is behavior. Behavior is defined by the set of actions an object can perform. Behavior means a set of actions performed by the object. And the next one is state. State is defined by the set of values held by its attributes. These are the set of values which were held by the attributes. Will I would like to explain this in detail. Let us understand the attributes, behavior, and state of an object by using the example of this washing machine. Okay, for example, if we take a washing machine, what are the attributes? Means the characters of an washing machine. What are the characters of the washing machine? First one is manufacturer, second one is model, third one is color, fourth one is weight, fifth one is capacity, Sixth one is energy rating, and the last one is noise level. These are the seven characteristics of any washing machine. These characteristics are called attributes. Before going to buy a washing machine, everybody should check these characters. That's why in the object oriented language, these characteristics are called attributes. Now, come to the behavior, means functioning. These are see, these are located on the top of the washing machine. Okay, once we will check what are the behaviors. First one is start wash, stop wash, rinse, easy wash, iron wash, echo wash, delay wash. These are the functions which are going to be performed by the machine. These actions are called behavior of an object. The first column is characteristics and the second column is action. In the object oriented language, we are called these attributes, these characters are the attributes and the action is the behavior. And come to the third column, state manufacturer is LG and the model number is FH495BDS2 and the color is red, weight is 73 kg, capacity is 12 kg, energy rating is A triple plus and noise level is 52 dBA. These are the state of the an washing machine. Okay, washing machine is an object and the characters of the washing machine is called the attributes and the action of the washing machine is called the behavior and the state is in the third column. Now I would like to explain these real world object into software object. How we will convert these real world objects into software object. Shall we go? Real world object to software object. The object that just have been discussed are real world objects. However, a program deals with software objects only. We can't write any program for the real world object. We can write the program using the software objects. Okay, how we will convert this? While implementing a real world object in software form, all its attributes are represented through data items known as member values. Behaviors are represented through methods known as member methods. This mapping is shown in the table given below using the example of the washing machine. Now, what we have written in the above example, that is washing machine, the attributes are called the data members and the behavior column is called member methods. That is, here we have the mapping. In the left side column we have real world object and in the right side column we have software objects. Here the attributes are called the member variables and the behavior is called the member method, that is action. Characteristics of an object is called member variables and the behavior of an object is called member methods. Like this, we will convert every real world object into software object. Means For every object in the world, we have some characteristics and behavior also. In the software object, we will convert the characteristics into member methods and the behavior into, sorry, that attributes into member variables and behavior into member methods. Children, put your mind and understand. The characteristics means attributes are called the member variables in the programming language, and behavior means action of any object is called the member methods in programming language. If you understand these basic concepts, then only you can write the object oriented programming. And the next one is, what is a class? A class is a template or blueprint for multiple objects with similar features. Due to this reason, a class is also called an object factory, which produces multiple objects of the same type. Once a class has defined, you can create many objects belonging to that class. As object belonging to a particular class, it is known as an instance of a class. For example, mango is an instance of the class fruit. We have so many fruits, and the characteristics of the each fruit is different from the other, but those are comes under the class of the fruits. Here mango is an object of the class fruit. Fruit is the class and its object is mango. Computer textbook is an instance of the class book. We have so many books, but each book has its own identity. For example, computer book is an object of the class books. And the next one is, lion is an instance of the class animal. So many animals are there, but the basic class is animal and its object is lion. Every animal has its own identity regarding color or and legs, and he is it's fast and its eating habits like this. Every animal has its own identity, but they are comes under the class of animal. For example, here we have an example. The first one is washing machine class. Washing machine is a class. In the blue color we have blueprint. Here we have same attributes and same behavior which we have taken in the previous slides. Okay, attributes are the same and behavior is the same, but where is the difference? We have the difference from each other. Here the basic is called the blueprint, and in the pink color we have two examples. These two are called the objects of the class washing machine. In the object 1, we have the attributes manufacturer is LG, and in the object 2, the manufacturer is Whirlpool, and the model is FH495B DS2, and in the object 2, the model is WMFUG842K. In the color here it is gray, and in the color is here black, and the weight is 73 kgs, and in the object 2 the weight is 71 kg, and the capacity of the object 1 is 12 kg, and the capacity of the object 2 is 8 kg. The energy rating is 3 places, and the energy rate of the object 2 is A++. Noise level is 52 dBA, and here noise level is 54 dBA. Means the difference is only with the attributes only, but the action is the same. Action is same for the two objects. The only difference is the attributes, means its characteristics are different, but the behavior is same. Means here data members only different, its member methods are same. That's why if we create once the class, that is blueprint, we can create many objects of that same class. Here we created only two objects, but we can create more objects. Okay, that's why this is called objects factory. Next one is principles of object oriented programming. An object oriented programming language should have the ability to work with classes and objects. In addition, it must use and implement the following four fundamental object oriented principles. Those are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and the polymorphism. We are going to learn these four concepts in detail. The first one is abstraction. What is an abstraction? Abstraction refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details. Means, if we are using a camera, the abstraction represents only essential features. That is, the camera device provides a few buttons and controls to take the photographs, and it hides the complexity of taking the photograph behind them. Only we are touching the outside buttons only. Those are useful to take the photograph. But we are not going to see the inside parts of, those are internal parts of the camera. Means flash sensor, AF sensor. We are not checking all these sensors. But the camera provides only the essential parts outside, but it hides the internal parts in the camera. Okay, this type of presenting the essential parts is called abstraction. Abstraction means representing the essential parts, and it hides the complexity parts. For example, if we drive a car, we are using only the steering to control our car, and we are using the seats also to sit and use, but we are not going to test how it will work and how it will connected to drive the car. We are not checking all these parts, just we are using the car, that's it. This is called abstraction. Means it represent the essential parts and hiding the complexity parts. This is called abstraction. And the next one is encapsulation. Here we have one capsule, and in that capsule we are bind the two parts. First one is variables and the second one is methods. As we learned in the before slides, variables means attributes and the methods means behavior. Variable means attributes, methods means behavior. These two are bind in a class. That's why this is called encapsulation. Shall we read the definition? Encapsulation is a mechanism that binds the data and methods together in a single unit. It keeps them both safe from the outside world, preventing any unauthorized access or misuse. Access to the data and code inside a class is strictly controlled. Only the methods that are inside the class can access data. In this way, the data and methods are said to be encapsulated in a single entity as it enclosing them both in a capsule. Means we are binding these variables and method in a single entity. In the object oriented programming, entity is an object. Entity is a class. Each entity means each class has its own data members and member methods. These two are strictly bound in a class, and there is no unauthorized access or misuse of these data members. These data members means variables can only used by the methods. Outside the class, there is no permission to use these data members. Now, come to the inheritance. Inheritance is a mechanism by which a class acquires the properties of another class. It allows a class to use the attributes and behavior of its parents. Inheritance means to acquire a properties from the other class. Means properties means characteristics or data members or member methods. We can inherit we can inherit the attributes or data members from the other class by using the inheritance. The base class is called the parent class and the derived class is called the child class. Parent class and the child class. A child can acquire the properties from the parent class, but parent class does not take the characters from the child class. Okay, this is the inheritance, and on this based on this topic, you have the one chapter in this textbook. The next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism is the ability of a method or an object to take one multiple forms. In OOP, polymorphism allow an operation to exhibit different behavior in different instances. Okay, the word polymorphism means many forms. It comes from the Greek word poly, meaning many, and morphism, meaning form. That's why many forms. We can write many objects or many methods using the same name. We are using the same name, but the difference is its written value or the parameter list only. But the name of the method is same. In the object oriented programming, the polymorphism is also called overloading, function overloading, or objects overloading. Based on this topic, you have one chapter also, and this is a very important topic. Later, we will discuss these two topics in detail. This is all over the first lesson. You have to learn what is an object, what is a class, and what are the concepts of the object oriented programming. Children, with your mind, learn carefully. Subscribe this channel to get the notifications. Thank you.